Hi everyone, we are a group of researchers from McMaster University and we will be diving deeper into a particular nutritional intervention, which we have chosen to be iron supplementation. Iron supplementation is used to tackle the effects of hidden hunger, which is the absence of physical cues correlating to malnutrition. So what is iron deficiency? Well, it is the most prevalent nutritional problem and is encountered in all regions of the world. Iron is a mineral that supports adequate growth and development along with playing a vital role in the maintenance of homeostasis in the body. Additionally, iron is used to produce the hemoglobin protein, which is a protein responsible for transporting oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. Insufficient iron levels lead to the development of anemia, which is the most widespread nutritional deficiency in infants and children in low to middle income countries, otherwise known as LMICs. Anemia is most prevalently seen in women and children, particularly girls, as iron requirements are especially high during growth spurts, sexual maturation, and menstrual blood loss. For this reason, our intervention analysis focused on the studies which focused on the effects of iron supplementation on school-age girls. Iron supplementation interventions have been set in place and reported in studies conducted by Februhar-Tinti et al. And Goyal and Prakash. The study conducted by Februhar-Tinti and Associates was funded by the Siomio Trot Med Regional Center for Community Nutrition, which is a unit of the Indonesian government and hosted by the University of Indonesia. Meanwhile, the study conducted by Goyal and Prakash was funded by the University Grants Commission of New Delhi, India. These studies are of immense importance as previous programs set in place in LMICs have not been successful in reducing the prevalence of anemia and have not reached much of the population due to low coverage of public healthcare systems in LMICs.
Now, let's dive deeper into the studies, specifically the interventions and their locations, target groups, outcomes, and overall main findings. The first study takes place in Kupang, Indonesia, and examines the effects of iron tablets on reducing anemia and increasing blood iron levels. In this study, 150 school-aged girls attending junior high schools in Kupang were examined by researchers from the Regional Center for Community Nutrition. Previous studies in Indonesia have found reductions in anemia levels through weekly iron supplementation. To find a more successful intervention, researchers focused on administering iron tablets during menstruation as a preventative measure, since the onset of menstruation during adolescence is associated with a depletion of iron stores. The study worked to compare the effects of iron supplementations in female adolescents, administered either weekly or during menstruation in female adolescents. The study found weekly supplementation of the iron tablet showed a greater improvement in hemoglobin concentration, which improves the overall iron status of adolescent females compared to iron supplementation during menstruation. Overall, both forms of iron supplementation were found to be more effective than no supplementation. The second intervention, conducted by Goyal and Prakash, focuses on micronutrient supplementation of adolescent females aged 10 to 16 years old attending a government school close to the University of Rajasthan in Jaipur, India. Researchers worked to apply an intervention that would easily increase micronutrient profiles in children and adolescents, thus leading to the development of fortified biscuits as a function of supplementation. These biscuits were implemented into the school feeding system and used to supplement the diets of the adolescent girls. The study then focused on the efficacy of the biscuits in improving the hemoglobin and iron status of the schoolgirls. Overall, the study found a significant increase in hemoglobin levels after supplementation. A total of 46 girls made up the study sample, with 44 suffering from anemia, more precisely, 13 suffering from mild anemia and 31 suffering from moderate anemia. At the end of the study, only 13 out of 31 girls continued to suffer from moderate anemia, and the mild anemia category increased from 31 to 43. These results confirm the benefits of micronutrient-rich biscuits in improving the iron profiles of adolescent girls.
So now, these interventions all connect to the overall concept of UNICEF's determinants of malnutrition. The interventions target specific determinants of malnutrition, which we will together take a very close look at. The UNICEF conceptual framework of malnutrition is a model that helps portray the many varied factors that contribute to one's nutritional status. The framework recognizes the causality of nutrition status at the individual, household, and societal levels. This model classifies malnutrition factors as immediate, underlying, or basic. The intervention of micronutrient supplementation, specifically iron, would be an example of addressing the underlying and the immediate causes. The underlying determinants of malnutrition are outlined by food, practices, and services. The intervention is addressing these underlying causes that represent a household level, such that it promotes household food security, good feeding practices, and access to health services. In LMICs, specifically in India, there is a religious practice of vegetarianism, in which many suffer from iron deficiency due to having an imbalanced diet. Since animal meat contains the most absorbable form of iron, when this is cut from a diet, it must be ensured that this iron is coming from other iron-rich foods. Another factor that leads to iron-deficient diets in LMICs is poverty. Impoverished populations suffer from a lack of dietary diversity in which financial constraints cause a very starch-heavy diet, where animal products as well as fruits and vegetables are not attainable. These determinants are linked to both stunting and wasting, which are both forms of undernutrition in children. Providing iron supplementation for children and women is a health service that helps to ensure that the nutrient deficiencies present due to food insecurity are resolved. This then directly influences the immediate determinants, which consider the type of diet and care that one receives. Iron supplementation directly influences dietary intake as the gaps in the diet that cause iron deficiencies are being filled in to support good nutrition, better survival, and lastly, proper growth and development. Micronutrient deficiencies, particularly iron deficiency, are among the 15 leading causes of global mortality. Therefore, by implementing micronutrient supplementation that targets the household and individual factors that are currently causing malnutrition, global survival all over the world can be supported.
To end things off, let's discuss the sustainability of the intervention and its potential to be used on a larger scale to prevent iron deficiency in larger geographical areas. As mentioned earlier, iron supplementation programs have been set in place but have not succeeded in reducing the prevalence of anemia. This can be tied back to lack of funding, poor public health systems, and insufficient resources to distribute the supplementation. The benefits are also not long-term for these, as they are only limited to the supplementation period. Researchers have found the most efficient way for supplementation in LMICs on a wide scale is in local schools. These schools are in collaboration with university researchers to examine the effects of supplementation. By focusing on distributing supplementation through school, the study group is easily accessed and monitored, as supplementation may also be integrated into the school meals that the children are provided with. Through these collaborations with local schools and university researchers, costs associated with the supplementation may be reduced through governmental aid and partnerships with the universities. As funding would be a major issue, especially among LMICs, these collaborations aid with the distribution of the supplementation. As malnutrition, especially iron deficiency and anemia, are becoming more prevalent all over the world, it is likely Western researchers would want to explore the effects of the supplementation. Targeting the effects of iron supplementation in LMICs allows researchers to have more control over the study sample and directly observe the effects, thus enticing them to conduct research in other countries. Although expanding supplementation into schools is known to reduce the prevalence of malnutrition, many individuals still do not have access to education, especially within LMICs. So, supplementation could also be integrated into the meals provided in community centers in areas of extreme poverty. This would allow other priority individuals, such as pregnant women, to also have access. And finally, a more widespread effect would be put into place of the supplementation, which advances the world in slowly reducing malnutrition.